The whole household is sick, dosed up on a variety of medications found in the medicine cabinet. You sit down to play a game and get your mind off things. Nothing too complicated though. Brain fog is a real problem. There, sitting in your Steam library, is the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy. You decide to download it and boot it up. Welcome to Dad Does Game Guides, where we're going through all the games in the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy to find out if it holds up and is still worth our limited time. The first game was still trying to find its feet. Join me as we play the next game in the list, Cortex Strikes Back.
Crystals, of course. No!
Crash Bandicoot 2 picks up where the first game ends, with Cortex trying to find a way to gain power in the most cartoony way and take over the world. It's simple, and like in the first game, it acts more like a backdrop to do platforming in unique levels of varying complexity. The platforming builds on one another as we progress in the story and does get more and more complicated, but you do get to see hints of what's to come in previous levels. In this game, we are recruited by Cortex to collect purple crystals so that someone even more diabolical doesn't get them. It's all a ruse, but it's a fun story thread that continues throughout the game. Of course, we have to defeat some enemies along the way, including the fan favorite Tiny Tiger. The bosses don't add anything to the story, but it's a fun way to cap off a zone. For the most part, this game is quite safe to play amongst kids of any ages if they're in the room with you, as it's like a classic Saturday morning cartoon. Not unlike Pinky and the Brain or Animaniacs that we used to watch back in the day.
Cortex, to reach full power, we need not only your master crystal, but also the remaining 25 slaves.
The platforming is more refined than in the first game. Instead of a linear path, we're in a zone with 5 levels to choose from. We need to complete all 5 levels to progress to the boss fight, and then move to the next zone. There's no combat per se, but there are enemies in each zone which can be spun or slide kicked. The main goal is to collect these purple gems, but collecting white and other colored gems can give us access to bonus levels and content in the game. Each zone has an impressive variety of levels, and the complexity ramps up as we get closer to the final boss, Cortex himself. There's the classic jumps and platforming, but there's also riding polar bears or even Indiana Jones inspired levels. Just like in the last game, the voice acting and sound design are phenomenal and do a lot to immerse you in the world.
Crash! My battery is fried! Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
Each zone has 5 levels to complete. These can easily be completed in 5 to 10 minutes, which means you can complete a whole level in 1 hour, and the game itself in 5 to 7 hours. It's enjoyable in short bursts, but ironically long plays tend to get quite tedious because it can be quite repetitive. This repetition isn't inherently bad, especially after you've had a long week of work or after a long day at a kid's birthday party.
Crash, Cortex isn't gonna use the crystals to contain the planet's energy. He's gonna harness the force and use it to power the super Cortex vortex he's built on his space station.
Crash Bandicoot 2 has a lot more going for it than its predecessor. I would definitely recommend it over the previous game. You can comfortably log on and off between nap times, and you can still make good progress. Personally, I would suggest doing 2 to 3 levels at a time. That way you can still make good progress without feeling the tedious and repetitiveness of the game. This is especially true for the later levels where the complexity ramps up quite significantly. Rather stagger the time a bit and leave a level that gets too frustrating. There's enough fun levels in a zone that you can leave one and come back later. Once the level is complete, you can return and do a time trial. This was in the first game, but because this game is so much more polished, it feels more worthwhile to do these time trials.
What is your problem, Bandicoot? I will not ask you again to bring me the crystal!
Crash Bandicoot 2 is a huge step up from the last game, and the funny thing is, it doesn't really do anything new. Instead, it's just a more polished, more refined, and more enjoyable experience overall because of this. It took what the last game did well, and did them even better, and dropped all the things that made the last game so frustrating. So, as a closing thought, I would say to any dad or busy person out there who's feeling nostalgic and keen to revisit this type of game, Crash Bandicoot 2 is a worthwhile experience for you in your life right now. Thanks for watching this kind of mini retrospective on Crash Bandicoot 2. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Have you played the game before? And what advice would you have for somebody who is thinking about getting into it, or for you, what's maybe holding you back? Comment down below. Next time, we'll be exploring the stars in No Man's Sky.